Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy, and this is sort of a continuation of one of my recent videos where I did a bloom using these colors. I'm just showing them to you really quick. I had this genius idea that I was going to use up some of this ugly oopsie house paint that I bought like who knows how long ago. So I'm using a fluorescent green, fluorescent blue, that custom color I just showed you, a Prussian violet, and a fluorescent purple. And that custom color is sea grass. I think it's either sea glass or sea grass from Colourarte, and I think it's sea glass, and it has 2 drops of cyan aqua purely pigment. Anyway, these coasters are beautiful and they turn out beautiful, except for when they were drying they started getting squiggly, and it's because of the pillow paint. For 2 reasons. There was too much paint left on the surface because the pillow paint was too thick. Oh, I also decided to use that bitter lime color because I had thinned it out not enough, as you can see, already that evening. So I put that under the neon green. Anyway, so I decided to still share this with you because they are pretty, and they would be pretty if they weren't drying all ridiculous. But full disclosure, I scraped them because I was like, no, I'm not gonna waste resin on a coaster that looks sad. So, but they're still pretty and I want to share them with you. But I will probably speed this up after a little bit. This is the first one. I also I was blowing these out myself, and one of the colors I showed you is blue green from not Atelier, from Sonja. It's their the metallic ones. It's a really pretty color too. Anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. This is way too much paint for a coaster, so this could be part of the problem that I'm having. But anyway, I went ahead and threw out what was left in that container of that gray color because once upon a time I got it to do something, but quite honestly, if I'm just going to waste paint trying to use it, I probably spent $9 on that gallon of paint at least 3 or 4 years ago. So I think now it will just sadly not fulfill its destiny and go in the trash, because sometimes my effort to not waste things backfires. Anyway, you can see I am blowing these out myself. I'm practicing my blow, even on the little coasters. I've never really done great work on blowing out coasters, but most recently I gave it a shot one day and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then it kind of keeps you from getting rusty, you know? So, and somewhere in here, I guess a win that makes this not a complete flop is I was probably on my, I don't know, 3rd coaster or whatever. And I've told you guys before, I struggle with the whole tilt your head sideways and blow thing. Like, I know why that's a good idea. It doesn't work out very well for me. And for some reason, I just got it in that moment. And I was like, oh, I can almost hear Lisa Marvin coaching people through blowing their blooms. Turn your head, turn your head, turn your head. And I was like, oh, this is the part where I'm supposed to turn my head. And my follow through was what was lacking. Anyway, so I think I might have had a slight breakthrough. Thanks, Lisa. Even though I didn't take the lesson, I pay attention to other people's learnings. Anyway, so it wasn't a complete waste. It just was a complete waste of paint. But that's okay. I was trying to use up some of this paint anyway. And the pillow paint was, not the nice pillow paint. So I'm just coming to that realization that when you only have so much time, like, don't try to rescue old paints. Just mix up new ones and count your losses and move on with your life. You know what I mean? So anyway, the colors are really pretty. I like the combo. Lime green always looks good with like blues, purples. It's a nice color pop combo. And I had made a piece that a customer had asked about. I had made a custom piece with these colors, which was why I was working with them. So while I had them out, I was like, well, what substrate do I have that I can just play around with until I finish most of these colors up? Because, you don't get a lot of time to paint. So when you do, you might as well maximize the effort while you have all the stuff out. So I don't know if that happens to you guys. I drag all this stuff out, paint for 20 minutes. It takes me double the time to drag it out and put it away. You know, sometimes while it's out, I just want to make a go of it, you know? So anyway, I'm going to speed up now that you've kind of seen the colors, but this one is up close. Pretty, right? If it had stayed that way. Like it's actually hurting my heart a little bit to see how pretty it is and that it didn't stay that way, you know? Hurtful. But, you know, you can't keep crying about it forever. But pretty depth of color. Okay, take 2. So you can see the ugly gray paint, and you can see that it is thick. And I sped this up because it, you know, it's all the same. Obviously too many, I have a problem with using too many colors. That is definitely an opportunity for me. I just can't, it's like I can't help it. That would have been too many colors for like an 8-inch bloom. But sometimes with coasters, it's, you know, it's fun because you get different dimensions, but you get your paint so thick that it's difficult. So I would say 3 or 4 colors is probably ideal for a coaster, but it's what I say. It's not what I do. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. So this one actually is pretty nice looking. Used a little too much cell activator on this one. But when you're kind of learning to blow things out yourself versus using like a little blower or whatever, you need enough cell activator. So if you know, miss something or don't catch it the right way, that you have enough to go all the way around. So there's that one. And one of these I end up scraping twice. So that's what happened is, as I was telling you earlier in the video, I got this moment where I was like, oh, this is kind of how you do the turn your head to the side thing. And I'm actually seeing the result. But I think I was blowing too hard because I would see that gray paint come up. And, you know, my intention with this gray paint was that it would pretty much be completely covered. So I don't know if it's on this one that I start to figure it out. I don't think so because I'm not turning my head to the side. But I end up scraping one of those coasters twice because of that. And then the final result still had the gray. And I was just like, whatever, I'm not going to do this all night. And so on the final one, I just leave some of the gray there. And I'm like, whatever, you know, it's fine. But then I end up scraping them. So I kind of chuckled at myself because when I saw that the cells were getting melty and wonky, I was like, man, I just redid that coaster 3 times and I'm just going to scrape them. You know, that's dumb. And I didn't even save the skins or anything. So whatever. Sometimes the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? As one of my coworkers says. So here we go. I do like that. That color is Bitter Lime. It's a Primary Elements color. And it was really old and needed to be used, and I had just revived it. And Colourarte makes some of the most beautiful, like lemon lime or lime green colors. It's just not a color I use a lot. So I have so many of them. Like I've got Prism Pores that are that beautiful color. I've like those in the color family. I've got Primary Elements. So I need to embrace using them more, and this is a nice color palette to use them with. And I always like the results. You see the gray? Icky. I always like the results, but it's just not something I gravitate towards, you know? So scrape number 1. Now that one was pretty bad. It was kind of right in the middle. It was very like in your face. But this is the one I think I'd do 3 times. So sorry about this being a little bit more boring. But pretty color combo. And so now it makes me want to say, okay, like go find every place that you've got similar colors mixed up and just do some stuff with them. Kind of get in the habit of using the colors. People always like this kind of a color combination too. I'm just more of a jewel tones girl. Like I gravitate towards like the purples and the teals and the pinks. These are also pretty. You see, more gray, icky. I don't know why I just like lost my mojo on the very last one. Seemed kind of stupid, but so instead of scraping that all the way, I just poured over in the center. And I end up keeping this one, but I did the same thing. It just wasn't quite as bad. So at this point, I was also kind of trying to hurry up. So maybe that's why I was making mistakes. I had been painting for a while. It was getting late. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me as I'm, playing around trying to use up paint. As I edit this, I'm about to do hopefully some brief resin work. Some of it will take some time to get edited, but I'm trying to faithfully take a little bit of a break for myself and my sanity in the middle of studying, because it's a lot right now. So forgive me that the videos are a little sparse. With the laser stuff, what's neat is I can kind of get the laser to kind of do some of the, the work, and then I kind of put it together and work on it in sections. And so it's something that can be kind of done a little at a time versus a huge dedication of time. Anyway, thanks for playing with me. Here's this final one. May it rest in peace. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.